Hi everyone, welcome to another session of UiQ TV. Today we're going to be discussing how to secure your Copilot deployment. I'm Volkan Bilgic, Workspace Solution Specialist at Ultima, and today I'm joined by Jake Upfield, our Security Solution Specialist. As we know, Copilot is a very powerful technology. And what we're seeing is that every time we're having conversations with customers, with clients, with prospects, there seems to be the same issues or the same challenges that are cropping up. And that's around data security and how we can secure our users, our data, and our organization with regards to Copilot. So at this stage, I really want to kind of hand over to Jake and actually and see what are the InfoSec teams and the security teams that you're working with. What's the common challenge they're facing?
Yeah, so I think the sort of underlying vernacular, if you like, that everyone's adopting in security is just at this moment in time, they wouldn't implement it, right? You're obviously, Ultima and our client base want to adopt it for all the benefits it brings with productivity and giving just that extra piece of data. However, when it comes around to the security teams, that's where these are going to fall over. At the moment, obviously, you've got data. The way it works, in theory, you shouldn't see stuff that hasn't been shared with you. What InfoSec teams are worried about is, first of all, do they know what's been shared with people, right? And that only goes so far. What happens if data falls outside of what we know is structured when you move into the realms of unstructured data? In theory, if it's attached to Microsoft somehow, that Copilot, instance could pull something up. The prime examples are things like, pay slips. If your controls aren't in place, or there's a sort of a separate third party maybe doing the sort of billing or the pay slips and things, and in theory it could pull data such as that. And it's just a risk that a lot of InfoSec teams aren't willing to take, and obviously a loss of data or data exfiltration or or just even brand reputational damage. It's a very risky thing to roll out at this moment in time, and it's all about how do you make that data disappear from those who aren't supposed to see it.
So I think from our side is that when we look at Copilot traditional setups or traditional security tactics that organizations are using, what can they do above and beyond the traditional security methods they use today?
DLP obviously is that traditional control that would have been used in probably 90% of data exfiltration scenarios. However, you could look into technologies now, such as one springs to mind, Varonis, who actually are working in partnership with Microsoft to, I guess, help drive Copilot adoption. This would add things such as, automatic labeling. It would also find data in the first place, so it's that data discovery piece, and it can also help with then who has access, user-based access to certain pieces of data. And equally, it adds something that maybe is where data loss prevention tooling falls down in other areas. It's very easy to manage, right? Where when it comes around to DLP as a technology, it's not the most manageable. There's usually a lot of work in the case of getting it set up properly, getting it, and making sure that it does apply those rulings properly in the first place. And equally, sometimes it does affect the end users as well. With Varonis, it's got, specifically as a very nice management platform. And equally, it doesn't necessarily impede too much on the user day to day.
That seems very comprehensive with regards to the kind of tooling to use. I think the other part is what other things can Ultima do? What else are we seeing within our customer base with regards to Copilot or securing that Copilot journey? Is there anything else organizations can look at?
Yeah, so you've got your general security tests that you do, your sort of penetration testing, finding out how far that sort of journey can go with regards to Copilot. Obviously, yourself, you've been working on these readiness assessments, which again is more around the functionality. But as you talk about that, you have that whole story around that functionality. You'll obviously start to talk about role-based access type setups where, do all the users need to see this? Do all the users need Copilot? Because if you can reduce the attack surface by reducing just the amount of people that need it, and have that actual functionality, then in theory, you've already reduced if that license doesn't exist because that person doesn't need it, you've already reduced the attack surface of someone trying to do something maybe malicious or accidentally malicious or just getting a little bit excited with their newfound tools, if you like. So obviously work with yourself to talk around how to utilize Copilot day to day would inherently bring up some security conversations as well. More so, we can consult on, how to roll these out in a secure manner, and make sure that if you do want to adopt Copilot, you're not getting to the point of, the business case has been signed off, and then as soon as it sort of hits Infosec's desk, they say absolutely no way.
A common challenge we all face.
Yeah.
But I think the key thing is also one of the partners of Microsoft that we work with are also putting their hand in their pocket, and actually there are some funding pots available to look at threat protection, look at cybersecurity assessments. So above and beyond what we do from a readiness assessment, we can tap in and bring in some of our consultants and funded engagements with Microsoft. So that will be, I think, a key area for us to focus on in the coming weeks and months, really. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, everybody, for joining our UiQ TV series on how to secure your Copilot deployment. We have a roundtable event coming up in November. Would love you to join us, where we can talk about some of these concerns in more detail. Equally, you can reach out to Jake, myself, or your account manager here at Ultima, where we can have an individual session with you, where we can workshop your requirements, talk about funding, talk about technology stack to help you on this journey. Thank you.